Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Oldish. I know I didn't schedule it, did I? I didn't tell you what we were going to be talking about. I've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk to you about today. And let me start by saying this is episode 166. So we've been doing this for about 3.5 years, which is a good long time. And for those of you who have been watching us all the way along, you've kind of watched the evolution of the oldish and how it has taken place and how the topics we talk about have changed. For those of you who have not watched all the way along, you may not know that there's been this whole other thing going on the side. So I do want to talk to you about that. Here on the oldish, we've done a lot of talking about subjects related to thinking differently, changing the way that you look at things. One of my favorite expressions is when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. As we age, a lot of the thinking that we were accustomed to doing when we were in our 20s and 30s and 40s about planning and next steps and how we want to live our lives, that kind of falls by the wayside. But it shouldn't. So we've been talking about those kinds of things here on the oldish. You do need to plan your own future. You do need to have a say in it. A lot of people just let stuff happen. And then when something does happen, they react. I've been encouraging people to be proactive about their lives. There is so much we can do to make our lives better, to help us live longer, better. Now, of course, I understand, some of you out there are going to be saying, well, stuff happens. I can't control disease. I can't control hereditary things. I understand. What I'm talking about is controlling the things you can control to the extent that you can control them. That's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that we can be proactive about. The reality is that when things happen, decisions will be made. They will. Are you going to make them? Is somebody else going to make them? If you don't, somebody else will. What I'm very much in favor of is you making sure that you control everything that you can control so that those decisions are yours, so that the life you lead is the life you want. This could all be thought of as a bit of a renovation of your thinking, a renovation of your life. I know we usually think about renovations as being things that happen to houses, to buildings, and that needs to happen too. That does need to happen. You know, that is where the intersection of the oldish and our new division, real life renos, really comes together. Some of you have heard me talk about real life renos. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that, but let me first start by saying that basic residential suburban design has not changed since the 1950s, hasn't changed significantly at all. The fact that our aging population is getting to the point where the houses no longer work for them is driving a lot of change, but we're still in the very early days. Homeowners don't know what to ask for. Builders and designers don't really know what to do either. In fact, what is happening is what has been happening all along and far too often, and that is that function is following design. Do you understand that? They make a house look pretty. They make the design look pretty. And then if it happens to function well for the occupants, bonus! Needs to be the other way about, where the house needs to function for the person or people who live there, and then it can be made pretty. A lot of you think that when you design a house with features that make it functional or accessible that it has to look like an institution or somehow it's not going to be as attractive. So not the case. That is not the case. For many years now, things have been designed, bits and pieces have been designed that are more functional but do have a beauty about them and a design that actually has it fit into your decor. Over at Real Life Renos, we're showing you those things. What we have done is create a video production. We've shot 2 episodes and they are taking longer than I ever thought, but oh my goodness, it's going to be so worth it. I can tell you that the second episode has been completely edited. The first episode is being worked on now. The music is being created. The graphics are being created. It takes a lot of time to get this kind of thing up and running. We have done some podcast episodes, but with every episode comes a podcast. So here's what I'm thinking. Our regular Wednesday at 12 noon oldish shows, and as I say, this is 166 over 3.5 years. It's time to renovate that as well. So we're going to take a bit of time off over the summer. I'm going to show you some archived episodes that have been fan favorites. I'm going to do some lives, just hopping on like this. You know, Wednesday at noon doesn't necessarily work for everybody, but when there's something to talk about, I'll hop on live. And of course, they'll be archived so you can see them whenever it suits you. But we're going to work on setting up a new office that has in it a podcast studio. I'm looking over at it now. The room is empty right now with a bunch of boxes, and it is going to all come together to be not only an office space for me, but a bit of a studio where I can do this. We're in my kitchen right now, as you can see. We're in my kitchen. Happens to be kind of a nice kitchen. I don't mind it here, so I'm showing it to you. But we're going to do a bit of a podcast studio and create podcasts that have videos. The podcasts we've done before have just been audios. And for those of you who may not have visited our YouTube channel, yes, we have a YouTube channel. It's called The Oldish. You will see, if you go there, that every time we do one of these 166 episodes, we edit out the video and leave behind just the audio so that those who wish to participate in these episodes in a podcast format can do that. So we do have a podcast channel that's available on Apple and Stitcher and all the places where you normally get podcasts. We're going to be adding more and more to that. That will be sort of a combination of the renovation of your thinking, which is the oldish, and the renovation of your spaces, which is Real Life Renos. To me, that is heaven, and it's something that I've been working toward for quite some time. I do hope you will enjoy it, but I want to hear from you what you need. What obstacles are you finding in your life as you age? What things in your house aren't working for you? Maybe we know the workaround or the fix or the language. You know, just the language between homeowners and builders creates a lot of problems because, again, we're in the early days of all of this happening. But it's ever so exciting to watch it happen and to be a part of it. And I want to make sure that you are a part of it as well. So absolutely join me. Let me show you the Renault Studios website. Now that is where you will find all of our content and all of the links. Let me show that to you. Here it is, Renault Studios. And you can see down below the oldish, the link to the oldish, which has our news and media. There are, I think, some 3,000 articles there. Real Life Renos, which is where you'll find all of the videos and the podcasts, and Brown Healthcare, which is our products-based division, where we focus on fall prevention, but we also have some other good stuff around assistive devices. So you can see our mission, vision, and value statements here. Get into there to educate, inspire, and elevate independence through renovating thinking, spaces, and lives for people who want increased safety, confidence, and dignity. Now, that is really what we're all about here. And that has been just a lovely crossover between the Oldish brand and the real life Renos. I am so excited for you to see all of this. I'm so excited to get this office set up and start creating the podcast because I've got a list of really interesting people, not only contractors, but people who are working in this space. And oh, here, Valerie. Hi, Valerie. I just looked over at the comments. Sounds like a great fit. I'm looking forward to real life Renos. Thank you, Valerie. I always so appreciate you being here. Valerie has written a wonderful book. You look back on our archives and you will find Valerie's book. It is fantastic. It is all about grandchildren coming to visit grandma in a long-term care facility. And it helps with how to talk to your children about that sort of a visit and that sort of a transition. Transitions are things that we're all making. And we hope to help you with that and give you some language and give you some resources. So I do hope you will join us on this journey that I am so excited about. It is, as I say, an extension of the oldish and also something that is part of the new vision that we have, basically because we've heard from you that your houses aren't working for you. So we're going to show you in the video our first two pilots. They blow me away. I shouldn't tell you too much about it. I'm dying to tell you about it, but I won't. These are houses that have been renovated. The first is a renovation of a kitchen space. That is actually the second show that you will see, and that is the one that has completed the editing process now. The first one that we shot, the editing is more complex. It is actually a new build, and it was built to be a completely accessible home. An accessibility strategist was used to design all of these elements. And the people who ended up renting the space are not in wheelchairs. They are older adults who purposefully set out to find a house with no stairs. This doesn't even have stairs going into it. One of the things that always frustrates me when I drive or walk through subdivisions, and especially the new ones that are being built, we are married to putting 2 or 3 stairs up to a front door. Why do we do that? We don't need to have stairs. We don't need to have stairs at all to get to a front door, but we put them there. It seems like, well, that's the way we've always done it, so that's the way we have to do it. But homeowners need to know to ask for these things. If you ask for no stairs and you get a builder that scratches their heads, you might need a different builder, or you might need to sit down and have a conversation that educates them. And you might need to point them to real life renos. Anyway, I'll let you go, but I did want to tell you about that and hop on live, and we will be doing more lives because I do miss talking to all of you live and your comments that come on. I know we can do that over on Instagram where I can actually invite people in, but primarily our audience is not on Instagram. It's here on Facebook. And I want to get you used to the website too, the Renault Studios website, and making use of it. We also have a newsletter that we're working on. We've been working on it for a while. It has taken a bit of a backseat, but do sign up for the newsletter. You can go and find that over on renaultstudios.com. Sign up for the newsletter because we'll be telling you when things are happening and when new content is posted. Okay? Have a great day, everybody. Do take care of each other and yourselves. And as I always end the shows, do remember that it takes a village to age a senior. Bye, everybody.